So these two hats here have the same number of stitches and the same number of rows. Okay, almost the same. I made one extra row here, and you can see the difference. This one is made using a 5mm hook with a weight full yarn, and this one with a 3.5mm hook and a weight 3 yarn. So if you want to make your hat with this yarn and in a bigger, to make it bigger, you can add more increase into this circle, okay, to get to the measurement that you need. So for the hat to be round like this, I place my increases and decreases at different spaces for even number rows and odd number rows. Okay, so watch the video till the end and hope you like the hat. For this video I'm using a 3.5mm hook and this weight 3 yarn. You will need stitch markers and needle to weave in your ends and also a tape measure. So let's start by making a magic ring. So take the yarn and make a chain 1. So this chain 1 will not count as a stitch, so chain 1 and the chain 1 is not a stitch. So make 6 single crochets. That's 1, 2, 3, and reduce the size of your ring by pulling through this tail. I have 3, and then 4, 5 and 6. Close the ring, and you see this first stitch here, we are going to join in that. So leave your loop and close. So you chain 1 again, and this chain 1 will not count as your stitch. So you have your first stitch here, insert in there and make 2 single crochets in each stitch, and then you can place a marker here. We are going to join in that space. So if we are doing it right, we should have 6 increases. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, and the 6th one here. 1, 2, and we are going to join not by doing this. So release your loop like that, take off that marker, take that loop and join. So when you join like that, from the inside you will have this bump here, but from the outside you will not see it. Okay, so you chain 1 at the start of every row. You are going to chain 1, and then we are going to start with a decrease of 2 single crochets in the same space. So 1, 2, and place your marker here. We are going to start increasing after 1 stitch in this row. So you'll have 1 single crochet and then 2 single crochet in the same space. In the next stitch you'll have 1 and then 2 in the next, 1 again, 2 in the next, 1 and then 2, 1, 2. So we already start our row with an increase. So here between this increase we are going to have 1 single crochet in this space. So this is your last stitch. See these loops here. 1 single crochet, remove that marker and join again. So you chain 1 and then start with an increase. This is the first row that I increase after 1 stitch, and then after 2, after 3, after 4, until I have an increase after 16 single crochets. Okay, so this one is bigger. I use weight full yarn with a 5mm hook. Okay, so start with an increase here. So here you will have 2 single crochets in between the increases. So 1, 2, and then you'll have an increase. So 1, 2, and then an increase. 1, 2, and then an increase. 1, 2, and increase, and finish this round. So whichever number you have in between these increases around here, it's the same number you should have before the increase here also. So I'll have 1 and then 2 and join. So you chain 1 and start with an increase again. If you like, keep a marker on your first row of increase here, so it will be easier to count. This is the magic ring. This is the increase in every stitch, and here we increase after 1. So here we increase after 2. Here we increase after 3. And it's the same thing, only you continue to increase until you have 16 single crochets in between your increases. Okay, this is 3. Keep going. So here, when you finish your increase with 3 single crochets, you will start to see that it's not round. It doesn't look like a circle. It has this corner instead. So to avoid this, in this row, in the previous row, we have an odd number of stitches in between our increase. So here we will have an even number of stitches before our increase. So here I will not start by making an increase. I will start with 1 single crochet here, and then 2 single crochet, and make my increase after 2 single crochets only for these first stitches here. Okay, and we are going to have 4 single crochets in between. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then make an increase after your 4 stitches. So you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, and increase. And here, before you end your round, you should have an increase and then 2 single crochets in the last 2 stitches here. We already made 2 here, so we'll have 2 more in between your increase. So continue the round. So like I told you, here we should have 2. So this is 1 and the last one in here, 2, and then we will join. And chain 1. So in the next round we will start with an increase again. we will have 5 single crochets in between. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then increase 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and increase, and continue your round. And please remember, your last stitch of the round will always be here before this chain 1 here, and then join. So we will switch our increases after every row from now on. Okay, so here we will have 6 single crochets in between our increase. So I will start with 3 single crochet first. 1, 2, 3, and then increase, and you will count 6 single crochet and then increase. So you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and increase, and continue increasing after 6 stitches. So you'll have 3 stitches, 3 single crochets from this side. 1, 2, and 3, and join. And for the odd number row, you will start with an increase, and for an even number row, you will start with single crochets and then increase. Okay, so you alternate your increases. Okay, place your increases just like we did in these 2 rows until you have 16 single crochets in between your increases. If you're not clear about instructions, please do ask me questions in the comments below. Okay, so this is what I get after 16 stitches between my increase, and it measures around 9.5 inches. And if you are making it with a different type of yarn, the size is really big. See, I have a 10.5 with 5 mm hook and 4 weight yarn, and here I have 9. And so if you are making it for adults with this yarn, with this number, or with this same yarn weight and crochet hook size, so if you need to make it bigger, for your circle to be bigger, you can add more increases. Okay, maybe up to 19 or 20 stitches in between your increase. Okay, and you just need to keep in mind that you need to take the measurement only, and for increase and decrease, it depends on how you like it. So when we are making a decrease, so you only need to remember that the last number of stitches you have between your increases here will be the number of number of stitches you need to make between your first row of your decrease. So here I have so here I made up to 16 stitches in between my increases. So when I decrease also, I will need to make 16 stitches and then I'll decrease. Okay, so if you add more increase with this yarn, then just note down that number on a piece of paper and put it aside. So after your last increasing row here, you keep a marker in that. Okay, so after your last increasing row, you chain 1, and then you will make 3 rows without increase. Okay, 3 rows of single crochet into each stitch without increase. So this is the first. I kept a marker here so it will be easier to count. 3 rows, okay, without increase. So here, as you can see, this is my last increasing row. So I have 1 2 3 rows of single crochet without increase. So I made 16 stitches between my increase. So I will place, but you need to remember, okay, I will place my decrease the same way I placed my increases in an even number row, and in an odd number row I will start with a decrease. So this is an even number row, which means I will have 8 single crochets and made my first decrease. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, and then insert your hook and front loop only of the next stitch and close as one single crochet. That's my first decrease, and then I'll have 16 single crochets until my next decrease. 16, okay, here I made 8 only, so I will have 8 single crochets when I end my row. So 1 2 3 4 5 15 and 16, and then decrease. So to do the invisible decrease here, here we made this one, this decrease here, so it is visible, right? So to make it invisible, you take the front loop only of your next stitch and then pull up a loop, and front loop only of the next one and pull a loop and close that as one single crochet. So like that, it's not really visible when you're done. Okay, so again I'll have 16 stitches until my next decrease again. So decrease again, and then 16 single crochet and finish your row. We should have 8 single crochets before you join your row here. So I will mark my first decreasing row here, and then the next row is an odd number row, which means we will have 15 stitches between our decrease. So I will start with a decrease here, so front loop only and front loop of the next stitch and close, and then you will make 15 single crochets, 2 3 and until 15. So 15 and then decrease again, so 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 and decrease and continue your row. So in the next row you will have 7 single crochets and then decrease, because it's an even number row with 14 single crochets, and you continue to decrease just like we did these 2 rows here until you made a decrease with 9 single crochets in between your decrease. After that I will show you what to do. So here I made my decrease after 9 single crochets. So I write it down here. This is my measurement, okay, for when I'm making my hats. So maybe it's different for you or for the person you are making it for, because we don't always have the same size. So please take your own measurement, and after that, okay, when you meet your last decreasing row here, follow this measurement, or you can take your own measurement. The best way to take a measurement is by comparing an old hat with the one that you're making. Okay, so here I have like, it's 9.5 inches. Yeah, that is a perfect size for adults, but since this I did not make the circle big enough to fit for adults, it will not look nice, I think, for adults. So I'll add one more decreasing row here, which means I'll have my decrease after 8 single crochets. So I'll make 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'll decrease, and then I'll have 8 in between. So you take your own measurement. If you already got the size that you need, you don't need to decrease anymore. Just work 3 or 4 rows of single crochets in each stitch, so it can work. I mean that 4 rows of single crochets will be your edging of the hat. So I will decrease after 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I'll decrease, and then I'll have 8 again, and I'll decrease, and I'll continue my round like that. It's at 8.5 inches, and then I will not decrease anymore. Okay, I'll just make, here it is a bigger yarn, and I use a bigger hook size, so 3 rows is this much. Okay, but for this one here, 3 rows will not be enough maybe, so I'll do 4 or 5 rows. Okay, just one single crochet into each stitch without increase or decrease. Okay, so after that I'll show you what you need to do next. So I made 4 rows of single crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then join the same way you join your previous rows. Cut and secure, and you'll have a beautiful beret. And you use your needle to weave in any ends that you have. Then cut, and you can do the same with this tail around here also. You can do it back foot, and how do you like my beret? Please do comment in the comment section below. Thank you so much.